Hey, everybody. I am so happy to be here today with you. I am praying everything will go just fine because John isn't here to rescue me. However, oh, hey, Paula. However, um, Kristen is on, and so if I not in the same house with me, but if I goof things up, forgive. I'm going to tell you there's going to be an R-rated part of today, a quilter R-rated part. I won't tell you where, but I'm asking for forgiveness ahead. It's hilarious, all right? So, Cammie, thank you for that cat thing. Oh my gosh, come on. That is like hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. And Kristen, if something is goofy, just text me. I'll try and be as good as D. Christopher. She can do all this and then look at the texts and all that. So where is John? John is on an airplane to Dallas, Texas, to see his brother. They try to get together a couple times a year, and Jim inevitably always comes here because they go up to Pine Mountain Lake to golf. And so there was some golf tournament or something like that, and so John went there. All right, I have to show you this. I can't even remember the order I put them in. Okay, Paula sent me this quite a while back. And speaking of cats, when good cats gone bad or good cats gone bad. So I just had to laugh. But I'll tell you the one that gets to me, and doggone it, Heidi has to knock it off, is this. My couch is wrapped in some kind of plastic wrap right now. I mean, it's hilarious. So, little bit of medical update. As you can see, I am doing very, very well. All your prayers, all your well wishes paid off. And so I thank you so much. I've got some stuff. So I've got to talk about what's coming up on TQS and how we kind of got there to where we're at right now. Um, I was supposed to go to Guatemala with Lilo in February, and that all fell through. As you know, we had a great little thing with her. I have gotten a clean bill of health. I got to keep my hair, which really had me take a hard look in the mirror of what really is important. I mean, seriously, but that kind of got to me a little bit. And the other was, I've shared this with you too, when I get into stress or trauma, my creativity goes flush right down the toilet. I can't even think, but I'm starting to get it back. All right. Sujata Shah, who's been on, who is Indian, has been in the States for 30 something years. Oh, I cannot recommend her enough for your gills. Sujata Shah. Go watch her show. She is.
I'm not sure I understand. Is there something else I can help with?
No. John, where are you when I need you? Anyways, excuse me. She went and, oh, there's a bunch of junk in here, taught our little mini group, I love, and I am working on my Kawandi quilt. And this has just been a wonderful, wonderful thing to just sit and stitch and kind of meditate on everything. And then the other thing that I'm working on is, as you know, Dee is in the middle of teaching us Japanese rice bags. And this really struck me. Well, this Saturday, she's going to be teaching us how to put it together. But these are my little four sides. I'm doing the stitching now. This was the first one. Not sure what I think about it. This is the second one, and I do not like this, so I'm going to tear that out today. And I've got to sew one more thing. But anyways, it's coming back. It's coming back. I'm actually in my sewing room, very, very happy as a clam. So what happened was, now I'm going to turn into like the little old lady here. Excuse me. I was supposed to get my cataracts fixed in January. And of course, I canceled it instantly, just like the trip to Guatemala, just like the trip I put on hold to Hawaii. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. And so this month I canceled because of this. I went to my Dr. Ocker, and it's hilarious because Rondi, who's always here, we are having surgery on the same day. Well, I got my first eye done. I can see. Guys, I didn't even want to drive in a car. I went from a 60 to a 30, and it's not even done healing. So, yay! So, I got to get the other eye done. So, that, messes that all up. And let me tell you, when you have them done, the next day you're going, uh-oh, I hope it's going to be okay, because things are a little screwy. Okay. But through all of this, I will tell you, I have not lost my sense of humor. So, oh, what are we doing today, anyways? We're going to talk about Rob Appell, all right? So I'm sewing with Wendy and Robin and myself. We do Sunday Sew on Zoom. And Dan comes over, my neighbor, whom I adore, and goes, hey, man. He brought over this beautiful Pendleton wool shirt. I mean, it's probably the prettiest one I've ever seen. And he got caught on his sleeve, and he got a tear just like this, all right? So it was clean as far as on the thread line, right? And so after much consultation with my three friends, we decided to put a fabric prep on the back and then just whip it together with a very fine thread. You can't see it, all right? So then he goes, but I have my favorite shirt, and it's threadbare. It's absolutely threadbare. What can you do? And I said, well, go get it. Just go get it. And he went and got it. And I said, well, actually, Robin and I looked at each other, and evil things went through our mind, which was perfectly classic. And I want to show you how I mended his Pendleton, his favorite shirt, the one he wears at Christmas and barbecues in. So you can see I'm back in form. I'm completely back in form. Okay. And either he's going to bring all his shirts over now, or he's going to run in the other direction. I don't know. I think he thinks I'm a tailor or something. Oh, and then he wanted us to cut off the sleeves. And Wendy said, if you're going to do that, just cut them off here. I said, yeah, just make it a wife beater shirt or something. What are you doing? So I love my Dan. Okay, this came in a couple weeks ago, and I'm sorry there's not a name. The code name is Nunu. Um, but she just went to her stash and had at it with the basket quilt. And I believe we still have this pattern on the site. It's beautiful. And I'm going to say something about this. Yes, I am. What I particularly adore is the orange. It's kind of a little shocking. It's kind of, what are you doing in there? And what it is doing in there is making all the difference in the world. So thank you for sending that. And I do that when I did my like 1875 repro quilts. I'd always make sure there was like a jarring orange or yellow in there, just to have your eye go like that. So thank you for sending that. Okay, then Barbara sent this, and let me get my information here. This was from Candace Hassan's show, 3107. And look what she did, you guys. Isn't that amazing? It looks dimensional, and I believe this was hanging at a quilt show. So I managed not to lose this either. So thank you. Thank you for sending it. I just think this is beautiful. Before we get on the show with Rob, okay, this is when I really do wish John was here. The show that's airing right now is David Owen Hastings, and that was the first thing I had to cancel. He came to our little guild, our mini group, and I mean, I probably could have gone in retrospect, but I couldn't handle it. So, okay, that's in the wrong place. Let me go here. I've got to go over here. Cancel. Don't ask me that right now. Okay, I'm getting a little nervous here that I'm not going to be able to find it. Here we go. I love him. Okay, here we go. I just love, love, love his work. Now I've got to get back here. Yay. So I really recommend this show, and I believe he's going to be teaching at Asilomar in 24. I will tell you something. I got the Asilomar catalog, and I'm like going, three quarters, if not 80% of the people have been on the show. And so if you're going to go to Asilomar, it's not sharing the sound with the David Owens Hastings. Doggone it. Well, you saw his work, okay? Thanks, Kristen. Okay, that's okay. Whatever. We're moving on. Gosh, I hope the Rob Appell sound comes up. So here's the deal. Rob Appell and I go back way far. And he works with Deb Cottrell now at Stitch in Heaven. And he came up with he's their media person. He came up with a great idea, and he's in San Luis Obispo. He decided to rig out a little camping thing and go from San Luis Obispo up to Seattle, I believe, quilting along the way in national parks and this and that, and make a really cute quilt that I believe Stitch in Heaven will be selling. So what happened was he got hold of me and told me he was going to do, and I said, if you aren't staying here, I'm going to be mad. And so he goes, that's what he asked for. So he came by here, and he was all equipped to sleep in his van, and both of us looked at each other and goes, that's probably not a good idea because, well, you're going to have to see the van. So we ended up actually having a sleepover. And, well, no, that came out wrong. We have a lovely guest room that he stayed in. So let's take a look at this. And Kristen, tell me if this doesn't work, because this is going to make me sick if it's not working. Okay, here we go. Oh, and you're going to see here, we don't get distracted. We don't go squirrel chasing. Oh, yeah, just wait. Okay, here we are in the front of my house, and you never know who's going to show up. Well, actually, I did know, and I'm so excited. My buddy!
Hey!
Woo! Rob Appell.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're kidding. Okay.
Right?
Yeah, you're kidding me. No, anytime. Tell everybody what you're doing, because I think this is so awesome. I can't stand it.
Well, this is incredible, and I can't believe I'm actually standing here right now. So we'll tell them officially it's April 14th.
Okay, but this is going to show down the road.
Showing down the road,
Yeah.
right? Day one, I live in Morro Bay, California, and I am starting a sewing, quilting, camping adventure.
Personal cruise.
A personal cruise, yeah. So there's a couple of things that my interest have been piqued with over the last few years. One is I've always loved camping, but this overlanding experience where you build...
Is that what this is called?
Kind of an overlander. It's kind of an
Okay.
overlander on a budget, but yeah, it's a vehicle that can travel on the back roads. You can live out of it. It's kind of self-contained. But one of the things that I love to do when I'm just relaxing is art and crafts. And I want to get into sewing in the backcountry. And a lot of folks know, but I was able to rehome an old sewing machine that a friend sold me down at the beach one day, and I've repainted it.
Is it in there?
It is, of
Okay,
course.
okay.
And because of that, and I'm now working at Stitch in Heaven out in Texas, and Deb, our boss, does so much with travel. You know, we do cruises, we do Land Ahoy events, we do expos, we have retreats, we have all kinds of things.
Stitch in Heaven.
Stitch in Heaven. Stitch in Heaven.
Yeah.
Stitch in, while I'm promoting.
Stitch in Heaven.
So she's like, Rob, she gave me the blessing. She's like, you love to travel, you do adventures, get out there and go do something fun with the machine.
Well, okay, so will it be streaming live? Well, no, I don't know, because you're going to be in nowhere land.
Yeah, I tried that in Peru last year and it was a disaster.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I have a quilt that I did not design the pattern, but it's got 6 different blocks that are camping related. And I want to film and do tutorials. So I'll be teaching everybody in the different videos how to make the different blocks. And when it's all done, it's a camping themed quilt. And then the artist who designed the quilt lives in Eastern Washington. And if all goes well, I will end up at her home with all of the blocks assembled and jump on her machine and quilt it there.
Isn't that great? What's the time frame to get up there?
It's going to take me about 2.5 weeks. I told my wife I'll be home in 3 weeks because the last of it is a quilt show in Odessa, Washington. And that is right at the end of April. And then it'll take me 2 or 3 days to get home. I have one other guest that I wanted to meet with, kind of like yourself, and spend a day. She had to postpone. Something happened in her life, and so I've offered to catch her on the way back south. And
Right.
if that works.
When he told me this on the phone, I'm like going, well, you better stop at my house.
yeah.
But then our schedules are crazy, and we
Yeah.
had to work around them.
Yeah, I was going to actually leave a couple of days earlier, but you were at VDTA or
Right.
something. Is that a frog? A real frog?
Yes.
No. Yeah, she's got a real frog in her yard. I hear him.
He's down in there.
There he is. In your water feature. You were making too much noise for him.
Sorry, man.
That's
Well,
right.
let's go take
Yeah,
a look
let us
at your digs, because
Right.
this is really cool, you guys. I got a sneak peek.
2002 Toyota Sequoia, 318,000 miles currently on it.
Toyotas go forever.
Yeah, I want to see at least 500,000 miles on this car.
Okay.
Right. My son still has my original truck, which already has over 200,000 miles on it. My wife has a Prius, so we might be a 1,000,000-mile Toyota family in the long run. So regular seating up front, the backside. Oh yeah, we've got a shower up top. We've got firewood. We've got fuel. So this is kind of like the you can go anywhere situation. This will heat up in the sun. I've got propane up here because I've got a built-in
How much
kitchen.
water is in there?
Well, it's about 5.5 gallons.
Okay.
I was at 7 gallons, but I actually cut it down a little bit. I've had it up here for about a year, but I was getting a bunch of vibration.
Okay. So no showering in my front yard.
What about if I'm in the bushes?
That's okay too.
Okay, because then I'm like recycling our
Right,
California water.
right.
So ice chest, we've got sewing supplies, I've got sleeping supplies, I've got my backdrop quilt, I've got a bag full of quilts down there. That's the hose for the shower. So it's kind of
So let me just recap this before we see the back. You are going to go park in a undisclosed place, or maybe campground or whatever.
I've got a couple of camping reservations.
Okay.
And then as I get further into Oregon and Washington, we get where there's a lot of BLM land. And
What's that?
Bureau of Land Management.
Okay.
So you can go out, it's all charted and mapped, and you can camp for free. It's wilderness. You want to make sure you're camping appropriately. That's why being self-contained is but yeah, you can just go and drive and find a spot and pull over, and it's pretty
And
exciting.
that's all your food in there.
That's all the food.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. So then the back is where it all
It's
magic
pretty
happens
cool.
here. Watch your head though, John, because the rip will get
It's
you.
kind of low,
It
John.
is. Yeah. Especially if you're stepping off the curb.
Ask how we know.
So we've got the full gear set up. Normally we have a couple surfboards stashed over here, and you can still sit 5 people. But like I said, I've been getting it all ready for the camp out. So I have my bed made. I have a quilt because you got to have a quilt. with
Right,
you,
right.
Air mattress. Got my yoga mat.
By the way, that's a really fun quilt,
Isn't that
right?
fun?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's new, isn't it?
Yeah, this is actually fabulous. It was a block of the month from Charisma Horton.
Okay, because
Yep.
I have seen that quilt.
Yep,
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
And she quilted it for me.
Cool.
And so anyways, I thought it would be fun to have with me. So I've got a battery system here, which converts kind of the whole back of the vehicle like into a house, right? So with the battery, I can run the sewing machine, which I'll show you in a moment. I also have like my little pull-out stove and coffee kit, trash can, porta potty. I had to put my Martelli mat in here. It was making a little noise. There's the solar panel that goes on top that recharges when I'm not driving. This side.
Did you put this all together?
I did. It's an old piece of plywood, actually.
No, but I mean, how did you even know what to...
I've been YouTube. I've been watching
okay,
YouTube
gotcha.
videos. Absolutely. Here's the pantry, complete, right? And then there's another bin underneath this one that goes all the way back that's got other camping, like tents and tarps and stuff. If I get into a place where I'm going to stay for a few days. Thanks to Slow Roast, we've got fuel. I think I might be the first quilter to get a coffee sponsorship. Is that rad or what?
Yeah.
So anyways, these are my new, and they gave me some mugs and some nice stuff. Got a little pull-out stove, kitchen area. Isn't that rad?
So where's the gas? Right?
Yeah, and that's what hooks up to the propane tank, which is right on top.
Gotcha.
And then I've got a nice little pull-out table.
And what's that going to be used for?
This is normally where we sit down at the beach and drink coffee. I could put my little, I've got a little campfire thing that sits here too. But while I'm traveling, this is going to be the studio. This is where I'm going to film sewing. So I just put in a mount so I can put my tripod. This will come out about yay. And then look at this sewing machine I have. This is what started it all.
You guys are not going to believe this. He gave me a sneak peek.
This is my little baby here.
And who'd you get it from?
My friend Brian. So it's a 1941 Singer, model 99, and it was last used in 1968 by his grandmother before she passed away. So I just had it open a second ago. Let me see. Oh, that's what I did. I just locked it.
Yay!
Dun, da, da, da.
Oh, come on.
Right? And it was in real bad condition. I go back and forth. I do actually love the painted old machines. This one was in such bad shape it wasn't worth not painting. It had, I mean, you can see that's the last of the gold that was on it.
Oh,
And
wow.
what
It's
they
been
called-
loved, man.
Yeah, it was what they called the gorilla finish. So apparently they did several of these Model 99s with a matte finish with no embossing, no gold, no nada on it.
And that feels a little lumpy. What's that about?
That was the gorilla finish. It
Oh,
actually
okay,
had a
okay.
rough texture, but boy, it held the dirts and the oils. It was just
I'm
grimy.
I'm
It
sure.
was super grimy. So the side plate, everything that was worth keeping original, I did. And then
Has he seen it?
Yes, he has.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So here's the fun. The bigger story was Brian is the in-between for the coffee roaster. And when I was telling him, because I showed him, he's like, that thing's rad. And so I told him what I was going to do with it. He's like, that's so cool. And we were drinking a cup of coffee. I said, yeah, I'm going to drink coffee, make quilts, and camp all over, Oregon and Washington and California for the next couple of weeks. He's like, man, that's so rad. And I told him, man, the next thing I got to get a coffee sponsor. And he's like, well, I know Chris at Slow Roast. And that's
Okay,
all.
hold on here.
That's the iron.
No,
You
well,
wanna
it's
try
not
the
plugged
coffee?
in. No, I want to smell it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this one's open. I've already been in it. Yeah.
I think you're going to want to, you were asking for a cup of coffee. We can make it inside, but I think you're going to want this, other than this stuff I have. Here you go. That's
It's
been
a
open?
special. Yeah, it's a special seal. And he even ground it just for my little. It's a French roast. Isn't that nice? Yeah. I'll make you some tomorrow morning. Right? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Can people get this online?
They can.
Okay.
Yep. They ship all over.
We got to take care of sponsors, and I'll tell you what, you guys, this smells really good.
Oh my goodness! I got to go in their warehouse yesterday, and it was amazing.
Okay.
It was great.
Okay, I'm going to keep it here so we can have some coffee
Yeah,
inside.
All
Okay?
right, let's do it.
So, anything else?
I think we're good. Oh, if we're going inside for coffee, I'm gonna grab my coffee kit.
Oh, wait a minute. There was something I saw. Where did it go? You had this really cool bowl, a bowl. There it is. Okay, guys, I spotted this. This is amazing. Tell us about this.
Okay. Oh, that's right. So this is one of my art projects that I do. So well is more about the wellness than the sewing at this point in my life. As a recovering alcoholic that's been through some depression and anxiety and all of those kinds of things, I have to be working with my hands to feel good. I've got to be creating stuff. And as much as I love making quilts and being around quilts and talking about quilts,
You need other muses. You do. I mean, you need a bunch of muses, I think.
quilts can stress me out because that's where I get my income from.
Right.
And so years ago I took up woodworking, I made a guitar, then I got a lathe, I started making pens, pencils, and then I got into bowl making. That's why the restoration of the car, the sewing machine, like I try to do all of that kind of stuff. Guess what? This year's art form. I think it's going, I'm going to give you a clue.
Oh,
it
here we
could
go,
be one of
test.
the last needle arts badges that I needed to knock off of my Boy Scouts list. It's a new form of art. I threatened you with it.
Button embellishment.
Tattooing.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I threatened when I got here with Alex's house I was going to give her a tattoo.
I need some tattoos.
That's right.
And he goes, he does tattoos
Right.
and tramp stamps for free.
Exactly. Almost, not exactly. What I said is mastectomy scar tattoos are generally done as a gift from the artist, but I would rather give you a tramp stamp instead. That's what I said. Now that you're busting me on camera,
And
my
I am
friend.
telling you right now.
Right.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that was.
No, thank
I
you.
have it in writing. No, I do not get the tattoo at Miss Alex Anderson. Awesome. Okay. let me
Although
get
we
my
thought
cup.
that would get hits big time.
That's right. All right. I'm gonna get
Okay.
my cup. Let's go get some coffee and have some fun.
Yeah. Okay, thanks,
Right.
everybody. Lucky. Okay, no tattoos for me. Anyways, we had a ball. He mentioned something. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm going to bring it up. If you go find his YouTube channel, he goes down to, I think, Peru for a month every year with a group of missionaries. And they take a lot of provisions to them, but it's also extremely wonderful ministry that's been going on generationally. And so for TV that night, we watched some of them, a couple of them, and where I just kind of went, "Whoa," it's like, okay, I can't judge other people's food, okay? You just can't, right? Because you eat what's near you. But grubs, live grubs. And then he said you have to bite its head off first, or else it's gonna bite you on the inside. And I'm like going, ah. Okay, then as far as Rob goes, last Friday, you can find us on his YouTube channel. I got to do free motion Friday, and I showed how I work on my long arm. And then he did a studio tour that'll be coming up. I'm trying to think, and then also, yeah, and then yeah. So that's going to be coming up. You might want to subscribe to his channel. Okay. So here's what I need to tell you. So, given that when I was diagnosed in November, we really didn't know what my ability was going to be to interact with you guys and all that, right? So, let me see. What do we have the first thing here? Wait. I want to show you this. That's his first night after our house. Brr, brr. Okay, I did not mean to show you that. I will come back to that because I want to talk about that. Oh, maybe I missed that one. Oh, there it is. There it's all going. See, he's got this thing down. And I mean, it's great. It's absolutely great. And one of his philosophies, which is true, he would rather be in a car like that. Kristen was texting me going, he sleeps in that. Because nobody thinks there's stuff of value in there. And, he's got all his media stuff and all that. So, Rob, it was a blast hanging out with you. You have my heart. You know that inside and out. All right. So in trying to figure out what can we do, not knowing the time frame, because you guys are not going to get rid of me. I'm like the pimple on prom night that just keeps coming back. Ricky designed this quilt, and he calls this Portal. He's going to Paducah this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he isn't in the car right now. He will be teaching you guys this in May. It's a super easy quilt. But let me tell you this, this quilt took my breath away, all right? We will have kits for it. Please, please, please don't delay. I don't know how many kits we got, but like these rice bag ones, they were sold out before the class even started. So if you want something, I'd get it. And then another thing that's coming up, okay, this week, Dee's going to show us on Saturday how to put the rice bag together. But then she and Kristen came up with really a super clever idea. And they're calling it Dee's Global Quilting Styles. She's going to hit 3 different styles of global type of quilting. It's going to start Saturday the 29th, 10 o'clock in the morning Pacific. And very cleverly, let's talk about what she's going to teach, all right? I'm not sure the order, but here we have Hawaiian quilting. And they're not big pieces, and I'm going to discuss that in a moment. Okay, here we go. And then molas. All right. I've never done one of those. You know what's so great is that, you learn from other countries like Sujata's quilt, like the rice bag, and it's stuff that you can just kind of incorporate in your own things. Mola, and then I'm going to say this wrong. Taveve, I had to call Chris. I've never heard of this. Taveve. They're kind of all, well, it's a global, they're just different global quilting styles. So I love that Kristen and Dee came up with this. What you can get a kit from us. And what's really cool is that it's a 3-in-1 project pack, so that you can do these 3 projects with what is in this kit. Just brilliant. Okay, so how do you find the kit, right? If you go to, no, I'm pretty sure that Kristen's going to put up a link here, but if you go to the front page and you just type in mola or Hawaiian quilt, I wouldn't try Taveve because I don't know how to spell it, but mola. And then it's going to take you to a place where there's tabs on top. Go hit the shop tab, and then it will be right there. Again, this is one of the cases of you don't want to wait too long. So I asked Kristen, how big are these things going to be? And she said maybe about 8 by 8. I mean, small little pieces, so you're not like, signing your life away. I want to show you something that I do with smaller pieces. These would be terrific gifts for people, but sometimes when you do something smaller, it just doesn't hold its own, so to speak. So this is Tanya Ricucci's, and I just fell in love with this piece. So the piece was at Alden Lane for a photo shoot. It was I think a Halloween issue of the Quilt Life. Oh, and I wanted this so badly. And she actually gifted it to me. And so just hanging by itself, it just didn't do it. So what I did was I went to Michael's. Actually, it wasn't, but craft art store, and I bought this oil painting or acrylic painting canvas already stretched, and then I painted it flat black matte, okay, and then I just stitched it on. All right. And it always hangs just right behind me. But honestly, this really gives it super presence. So you might want to consider doing that with your projects, or you could hang them in your own house and just talk about quilts from around the world. So, all right. So here's the deal. This Wednesday, Quilt Folk is in the Bay Area. And I actually got to be a pioneer. They did a little thing on me, Pioneer Quilters, and it made me really happy. But on this Wednesday, they're going to be celebrating the Cotton Patch. Carolee Hensley is one of the, I call her my oldest quilting friend because she was the first quilter I met. And actually, Carolee and her husband started C&T Publishing. So we're all going to meet at the Cotton Patch, a lot of the authors, and do a photo shoot. So that's super fun. Then Friday, I'm getting this eye done. All right. And then next week, I don't know what I'm doing, but I am going to tell you this. And I'm sorry I'm being so flaky. I'm going to try and tell you whatever. I am coming back, and we are going to do ties. Now, another little hiccup in the road, besides I'm going to Hawaii. When I get back, they're going to do they're going to take out well, they're all fake, but they're going to take out the expanders and then put in my permanent breasts. And I looked online to see what is the recovery period of that. And it was more than I thought. It might be 2 or 3 weeks. So you're just going to have to hang with me. But my goal is to get us started preparing the ties and prepping them and washing them before I go in for second surgery. So that will give you, it does not happen in 30 seconds, deconstructing those ties. So that is my wish. In the meantime, Ricky has this wonderful quilt that I just really like that quilt. And then we have Dee's wonderful things. Oh, and then another thing, I guess I can tell you this. Kristen, don't get mad if I say this. We got Robin Long for a summer project. So we're working on that. I think, oh, and then another one, a pixel quilt that I saw it and I go, ooh la la. Our endeavor here at TQS is to teach, 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 and to bring you to a soft place where you can feel safe and just get inspired. I know you people inspire me, and I hope I can give back to you. One last thing I want to say. I've gotten a couple emails from people thanking me for being so public about everything, and it was very purposely done, and we are saving lives. And when somebody writes me that happens to know my email and they say, this is going on. My daughter was just diagnosed. My insides throw up. All right. I am currently, while I'm in great shape, I'm having to unpack mentally what happened, which sounds like a really crazy thing, but what happened? I mean, it's almost like it didn't happen, but it happened and it was horrifying and all that. If someone is diagnosed, understand, please, that until that person goes into treatment, it's horrible. Okay. Just understand the horror that that person's going through, because there's 6,000 different ways the ball can bounce when it comes to breast cancer. And then you get on and you start looking at Dr. Google. Don't do that. Just don't. Just do what is put in front of you. And what my I think I shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. You might want to write it down. Number one, um, don't just look at what's in front of you. Don't go to Dr. Google. Just just don't. You're going to freak yourself out, okay? I did. I even have a wig in there that I was going to wear. Everything that could go wrong was going wrong in my brain. Number two, this is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And I said, why didn't you tell me this was going to take a while? And he said, I told you it's a marathon, not a sprint. And last but not least, it is a journey of your whole body, from your mind to your heart to your toes. It's not just, let's go take care of this right here. All right. So just keep those things in mind. And the best thing I had was that crazy little bean shaped pillow. I still sleep with it. It's my Wooby. So thank you. Thank you, everybody. From the bottom of my heart, stay tuned. Just be loosey goosey with us, please. We're doing the best we can to bring you valuable content. All right. And yeah, that's it. We'll see you later.